Hello?
Yeah, Venkat, your phone got disconnected.
Yeah. So I was telling that I'm very much familiar with all ITL best practices like incident management, change management, release management, and
Are you ITL certified?
yes, foundation.
Which version?
Foundation.
Like version 2, version 3?
It's 2.0.
It's 2.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. And can you help me with like what is change management process? I think.
Yeah, change management process a set of steps that we need to follow. So first, say for example, if you want to make any change to existing live environment, so you need to follow certain standards. Like we need to get all the testing finished in the test environment. Then we need to create a change record and the appropriate ticketing system. In our case, it's a remedy. We create a change record and we go ahead with we go out with change meeting. There we explain about what exactly we are going to do with that change, and the change authorization board will be there. The group of people, they'll ask some questions about the change, like will there be any downtime, will there be any impact to the end user, or any the change is getting clashed with any other change, and what happens if the change gets failed? Is there any backup plan? So we discuss all those things, and if everything is fine, if they satisfy, they give authorization to go ahead with implementing that change. And then, based on the implementation window that we have selected, we go ahead and implement the change. Once it is successfully implemented, then we change status of the change record appropriately, like deployed successful or deployed with issues or rollback, rollout, like that.
Okay, good. And what are the SQL versions that have happened?
I worked in 2005, 2008, or 2012.
Okay, any exposure on 2000?
2000, I have, yeah, I have exposure to 2000 as well. Yeah. But the recent 3 years, 3.5 years, I was into 2012, 8, or 2005. But
Okay,
yeah, I can take care of 2000 versions also.
okay. And have you worked on high availability features?
Yeah, I worked on log shipping, mirroring, transaction replication, clustering, and bit into always on.
Okay. So have you configured always on?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the prerequisites for configuring always on?
So to configure always on, first of all, we need to have Windows level clustering for the failover purpose. Once you have implemented the Windows level clustering, then we need to have a database. So we need to enable always on feature for the instances that are participating in always on. Like you can go to the configuration manager, right click on instance name, and there will be option to enable always on. Then we can just go ahead get into the management studio and right click on availability groups, and then we can just go ahead and create availability groups, and we can select appropriate databases, and we can go ahead with configuring appropriate secondary replicas. And also we need to have our age listener and the application intent needs to be configured. So in case of a failure occurs, so which replica it has to fail over, and what is which replica, and either it is a read-only mode or read-write mode. All these things needs to be configured as per the age listener.
And what is the port that you would configure for listener?
First,
Listener.
yeah, listener, we can go for the existing. We can use mirroring port numbers, or we can go for some 63526 or something. I don't remember exact listener port number. But to configure always, we can just go with the same existing mirroring port numbers.
And if my database, like I have the databases into simple recovery model, and I want to configure that into
No, we
always
need to
on.
have a database must be in full recovery mode.
Bulk logged.
No,
Are you sure?
yeah,
Okay. And have you worked on performance tuning?
yes.
Okay, suppose given an example, my query is running slow.
Yeah.
So what would be a troubleshooting step?
Yeah, first of all, we do check a few things at server level, are there any blockings or deadlocks are occurring? So if there are any blockings, and we
How would you
identify.
check blocking?
Yeah, we have numerous ways to check blockings, and some of the things are like you can run sp underscore who or sp underscore who to, and we can run this dm underscore exec request where blocking underscore session underscore id not equal to 0. So with either of this option, we can identify the blocking speed, and once you get that speed, you can give that to the DBC input buffer, and you come to know exact SQL script behind that speed, or else you can give it to select star from this process, where we can get more granular information, like from which host it is running, and who is the owner, and what is the user ID, and
Okay.
so based on that, we can work with the appropriate application team, and once you get required approval, and we can kill that speed. And also the second thing, that deadlocks also we monitor if it is something we enable required trace flags, and we catch deadlocks and the error logs. And the second thing, we check fragmentation. So one of the culprits that makes our queries to run slower. So whenever we identify the associated tables for that query, and we see the indexes, and we fill the fragmentation values in percentage by running dm underscore db underscore physical index stats. So there will be a column avg underscore fragmentation in percentage. It will give us the fragmentation value, and based on if index maintenance is required, we'll go ahead and run the index maintenance. That's again, if it is over 30%, we go for rebuilding the indexes. If it is between 10 to 30%, we go for reorganizing the indexes. So and also we do see the execution plan, and we check the statistics when they are updated. If they are not up to date, we go ahead and update the statistics. And then the finally, if nothing can be done at the server level, then we bring that piece of code to the dev environment, and we enable the trace with the appropriate events, and then we try to trace the which part of the stored procedure is culprit. So once you get, like, by checking the reads, write duration, the stored procedure might have so many statements. Out of 10 statements, maybe one or two might be the culprits, and we try to identify with the help of profiler. And whatever the trace outcome comes from a profiler, we give that to the tuning advisor, and then we see the solutions that are coming out of tuning advisor, and we try to implement appropriate indexes in the dev environment. Once we see better improvement or optimization, then we patch the same changes to production. So, and also, still if there is any improvement required, if nothing can be done at index level, then we engage our developers, and we work together to make to revamp the code, and to implement other alternatives. Suppose if they are using any cursors, or if they are using any very complex joins, like too many joins on too many single join on too many tables, we try to recommend them to break it into the small pieces, and put the results into temporary table, and like write one common join in the end to get the overall outcome. So that's how we try to optimize the queries.
And how would you check the execution plan? What
So
details would you check in the execution plan?
execution plan, in if you want to see the execution plan through profiler, we need to add event called show XML plan. So when you add that show XML plan event to the trace, and it will capture the execution plan. There basically it will have operations like index scan, index seek, and what is at each operator, and what is the estimated number of rows and actual number of rows. And based on that, suppose if at any particular operator, the estimation number of rows are like 50, and if it is giving actual number of rows is 1000, so there is a huge discrepancy between estimation and actual. So that we can consider that there is something wrong at that point of time. And also we can see the query cost also. So out of one store procedure, it will calculate query cost for each statement, and with that also we can come to know which statement is having trouble.
Okay. And what about resource monitoring? What would you check in resource monitor?
Yeah, resource monitor and activity monitor. There we do see like what is the CPU utilization, what is how is the IO, and what is the memory consumption, and we check all these things through resource and activity monitor.
Okay, and if you got the details that memory is there, memory pressure is there, so what would you check that?
Yeah, if the memory pressure is there, like so we do check what exact uh, uh, transaction is running at that point of time. If it is any transaction which is very huge transaction is running since very long time, if it is holding how many resources, we try to identify the appropriate rate types, and then if required we issue a manual checkpoint to clear out some of the buffer pool. So that's how we proceed further on the troubleshooting.
How would you clear the buffer pool?
So we can run checkpoint manually. So that can clear out some.
Okay. And if I have, what's the command for like,
Okay.
releasing the cache? What is the command for releasing cache?
So we can run DBCC pre-system cache, pre-block cache, and drop clean buffers. These DBCC commands we can run to clear the cache.
And what would do, like if I run the command free proc cache, so what it would do in the backend?
Sorry?
If I run the command dbcc free proc cache,
Yeah, it will
so
clear the
what,
procedure cache, like it will clear all execution, all cached execution plans. And whenever once you run pre-proc cache, and whenever next time that procedure is executed, it will compile, and again it will come up with a new execution plan.
so it would be slow next time, right?
Right.
Okay. And have you worked on the linked server?
Sorry?
Linked server.
Yeah, linked servers. The linked servers basically the purpose is to communicate between different servers, so we can create appropriate linked. Suppose I have a server A and server B, and if I want to access some of the tables in server B from server A, and we can create a linked server, and with that we can with the linked server name we can access tables from server B.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Venkat.
Are you able to hear me?
Your voice was breaking. Can you please come again?
Okay, is that better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. So I was telling that linked server is something that we create to access data from one server to another server. So for example, I have a server A and server B. If I want to access server B tables from server A, I can go ahead and create a linked server on server A. With that linked server reference, I can access tables from data from server B.
Okay. And if my data, one server is in Oracle, then how would you access that?
One server is in?
One is in SQL server, another server is in Oracle.
Yeah, we just need to select appropriate driver. So there will be we can access the data from Excel. We can access data from Sybase or Oracle. Just we need to select appropriate type driver type. We can access using link servers.
Okay. And have you worked on the replication?
Yeah,
Okay. Which kind of replication?
transaction replication.
Apart from that,
Sorry.
snapshot. Apart from that, snapshot.
Snapshot, I'm familiar with all the things, but more I was involved into transaction replication, but I'm familiar with the merge replication and transaction with update and snapshot.
Okay. If I have that there is a replication configured and my transactions are going on, and I am unable to find the records of the subscribers, so how would you update that?
So transaction replication is configured and you are unable to see the records from publisher to subscriber, right?
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, in that case we need to go to the replication monitor and we need to we need to check the subscriber synchronization status. If for any subscriber if the data is not getting replicated, and we need to double click on that particular subscriber, and we can verify are there any synchronization errors, and also we need to see are there any issues with log reader or distribution agent. So if the agents are not running, if you have any issues with the agents, the data may not get replicated to subscribers. Just all these things can be troubleshooted or identified from the replication monitor.
Okay, and how would you like figure out which transaction is missing?
So that from distribution database we can run there will be we can write a small join like on triple command and triple transaction on the distribution database, and we can see if the commands are stacked in distribution database, and at the same time we mostly get sometimes like if there are any like when wiki violations or not found errors, and we can get exact transaction sequence number and command ID. With that, we can get to know what is the target table and what exactly the duplicate row in the target table, and we can identify the target object, and we can fix the problem.
Okay, sure. And have you worked on clustering?
Yes.
Okay, so what is MSDTC in clustering? And what
So
is
MSDTC is basically distribution coordinator. Basically, it takes care of running the distributed queries across multiple servers. So something goes wrong with our active node and in the failover process, and what transactions it has to roll forward and what transactions it has to take forward. That will be the role of MSDTC.
Okay. And is it required in 2000?
It is not required in 2008 onwards, but it is mandatory up to 2005.
Okay. And have you worked on upgrades?
Yeah.
Which upgrade?
So I worked on 2005 to 8R2 and 8R2 to 12.
What are the steps?
So we basically follow a checklist like it contains pre-migration and migration and post-migration process. So whenever for upgrade, basically we run an upgrade advisor first. So we download upgrade advisor tool and we run upgrade advisor analysis for that particular instance, whichever we are planning to upgrade. And then whatever the issues, whatever the things pop up in the upgrade report, so we evaluate and we fix those issues. In case of migration, like side-by-side migration, we follow a checklist like pre-migration activities and post-migration and migration activities. In pre-migration, basically we try to perform the assessment like whether the target server is capable of accommodating all the databases, like does it have enough space, and also we try to find out where we need to put log files and where we need to put data files and backups. And then also we identify all the applications which are pointing to the databases that we are migrating, and we do gather all the required contact details. And then also we do pull all the database properties by running appropriate queries. And then on the cutover day, basically we communicate to all the application owners to stop their applications. So once we get confirmation from them, like saying that all their applications are stopped, then we switch our database to single the read-only mode, and then we start backup process. And once backup is completed, copy the backup file to target new server, and then we restore. Once restoration is completed and we perform connectivity testing, we work with application teams to point their applications to new infrastructure, and then we perform connectivity testing. If everything seems fine, then we go ahead and run the required maintenance activities like running check DB and rebuilding the indexes and recompiling all the source procedures and running updates usage with DBCC. So once everything, and then we'll have a close monitoring on error logs to see if there are any new errors comes out. So then if everything seems fine, then we roll out saying that migration is completed successfully.
Okay. So have you migrated from 2000 to 2008?
2005 to 2008 R2 and 2008 R2 to somehow 2012 and 2014.
Okay. And Yes, that's it from my side, Venkat. Do you have any questions from your
Yeah,
side?
thank you so much for your time. It's nice talking to you. If you could give me a brief about what kind of role you are looking for, that would be great.
Sure, sure. Thanks, same here. Like we are looking for a SQL Server DBA profile.
Okay.
So we are service-based industry, and one of our clients is having SQL Server support. So we are looking for that, and they are currently most of the servers are on legacy 2000 servers.
Okay.
That's the reason, like out of suppose 50 instances, 25 instances are on 2000,
Yeah.
and some of them are on 2005.
Yeah.
And we have only one instance in 2012, and there is no high availability as of now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
So if
familiar
you
with
can,
2000 also, so if I get an opportunity, definitely I can give my best for
yeah,
that.
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So
And just a question, like how soon can you join if given an opportunity?
I can
Where
join.
are you currently working? In Pune or in
I'm in Pune.
Yes Technologies in Nagarpata, right?
Yeah, Magarpat.
So Yes Technology deployed candidates to some other like
Yes,
client.
we
Which
have
client you
multiple
working?
clients, but so I do sometimes I need to travel Bangalore, Chennai. So right now I'm in Pune only, so I can join in
So
next.
for which client you're working on?
We're working for SunTrust and Ameriprise Financial. So these two are the clients we are working on.
Okay, so you are in Pune, and you mentioned that you are locating here and like
Yeah,
sometimes Hyderabad.
yeah,
So are you comfortable to move to Pune?
yeah. No problem.
So where are you native, like your native from?
I'm from AP. I'm Suresh.
Okay.
Yeah,
And like if given how soon can you join?
I can join in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So
Yeah.
you're serving notice period or what?
So so right now, we are giving kind of handover to another vendor. Whatever the project we are supporting, the project has gone to another vendor. So right now, kind of we do not have much work, and I can manage and I can get a